Ooh.
Sorry, I got you guys started a little early on that lullaby.
No, that ended up just fine.
Oh.
Yes, man.
Yes,
Yes.
man.
All right, now we were talking about this before you came on. You are one of the biggest fans of the Kathy comic of all of our friends.
Yeah.
Well, okay, now we had a bet kind of running because I know you like it more than Gary Larson's The Far Side, right?
Yes.
Way more than Garfield.
Yes.
Right. Okay, but the bet was whether or not you had actually fantasized about Kathy while cranking one out.
Yes.
Okay, I owe you $1.
I mean,
Anyway, see you later.
Wow, breaking new ground.
oh my goodness.
We're all over the place.
The O man.
The O man.
Oh, goodness.
That's a fact. How much fucking do you think Kathy did? Did she fuck in that comic book or comic strip, or did she was she always like, oh, I can't get a man? How about I eat a bonbon?
You know what? She fucked, but it was only Ziggy.
Oh, wow. Kathy videos.
And
Okay,
Jesus
well,
Christ on xvideos.com.
You know,
Oh, my.
Also on this page, Chick-fil-A CEO Dan Cathy on same-sex marriage. So a very wide spectrum here.
Ack! Oh, shit, did we shout out? We shouted out J. King, right?
Ah, shit. No, we didn't.
Well, we did peg him as the leader, but officially, J. King 206 is the
bit boss. I don't know anything.
it's perfect.
Nailed
Nailed it.
it.
Thank you for being a good sport, Brian.
Oh,
okay.
no, it was great. That was definitely a trust fall exercise where it's like, I'm pretty sure.
There was some on there that I was that once I wasn't sure how comfortable you would be, and so there is definitely some like
there's
some
no
audibles
shortage
being called
of,
on.
And by the way, I don't. This isn't a thing I want to make a thing out of in the main show, but of course, like every so often there's somebody who has beef that I'm super liberal in my follows, but it's like, look, when Twitter launched, there was a blessed, holy few dozen people that were set up as recommended. And I was not on that list. And those recommended people, when people sign up on Twitter, they got millions of followers or whatever. And it's like some of us, guess what, have to work by knocking door by door by door, shaking hands and being friendly and answering literally everything. I mean, it's like I fucking spend 30 minutes every day talking to everybody who wants to talk on Twitter. And that's you know, and it really grinds my gears when people are like, it's disingenuous. I'm like, fucking, I'm the most genuous motherfucker on Twitter you're gonna find in the at replies, sir. Genuine, thoughtful replies to everyone.
Hey, and suck my nuts. Like, what does it cost you?
Well, I won't say that.
Like,
No, say that one too.
Yeah, it'd be like, what does it cost you? Like, I'm talking to you now.
Well,
like,
and that's the
what
funny part.
fuck is your, like, what would you prefer? That I was following 30 people and that you got to say, hey, 30-person follower, this is a better conversation.
Well, and I think also it's just like, I think it all boils down to the sentiment of you're enjoying Twitter in a different way than I enjoy Twitter. And it's like, you know, I perceive it as a performance outwardly, and it's like, no, like I don't consume a lot on Twitter. I don't read a lot of other people's posts. I am a producer, not a consumer on that medium, and part of that means what you get out of a follow from Brian Brushwood is access to his DMs, which increased relevance, you know, alerts going to his phone and all that stuff. So I don't know. Somebody's like, you're enjoying it different.
But number one, it would be one thing if you had just turned it into a brand thing and you were just pumping out messages or whatever. But it's like, if you want to follow the entirety of Twitter and you're also interacting like a regular human, then everybody can get fucking bent. Like it would be a different thing if you had just turned it into nothing but commercials, but you haven't. You're you're doing the same shit that you were doing when you didn't follow a bunch of people. So it's like, people can.
So take that, random guy whose name I can't even remember, but occupied too much of my
suck,
time.
Suck my nuts. Suck my nuts. Suck on my nuts. Suck on my nuts. Suck on my nuts. That's the new national anthem. Trump announced it.
Did I hear right? Did they sing the fucking happy birthday song at the State of the Union?
I did not see that.
I saw that in the chat. I don't know if that's a real thing.
I'm going to have to know it because...
I have some investigative journalism.
Oh, good.
We just saw an image of Kathy getting married to Irving in 2005.
She
got married fucking, what is it, 14 years ago?
But I will say, on their wedding night, they had a not quiet bed, but for all the wrong reasons.
Oh, they were doing it doggy style.
They had the dogs in the bed.
All the while they do it doggy style. This is a tale about Kathy and Irving. A big bow wow wow. Irving got the act instead of that puss.
Instead of this act instead of the snatch.
Man, there's
executive order. Oh wait, so they did sing Happy Birthday. They sang Happy Birthday to a Holocaust survivor. That's the real sentence. A real sentence. I said a real sentence, and there's the guy.
Oh,
wow.
I wish I would love it if that family that used to own the song or claim they owned the song, like or sued CNN, Fox, and NBC.
Yeah. Go ahead and I'll be on Something's Off with Andrew Heaton tomorrow, talking about singing the Happy Birthday to a Holocaust survivor.
Dude, I am so enjoying the continued success of Something's Off with Andrew Heaton. It just keeps being.
So go listen. I did an interview with Andrew Heaton last week on the Politics feed. He was nice enough to come on. Today, I published an interview with former Night Attack guest Jack Allison about why political comedy isn't funny anymore. And it was awesome. It was a great conversation. And we got a lot of kind of like inside, if you like comedy talk, if you like, why are things funny and the construction of jokes and really how the business of late night kind of is, you're gonna really dig it. I think
Speaking of which, I guess two things. Just one to put out there. We've got to get Andrew on Night Attack, right? I mean, like.
I'll berate him. I'll berate him on the show tomorrow.
Okay. Specifically, we got to figure out if there's some reason he can come to Austin when you're in Austin, maybe during South by Southwest, and then we could do it all in studio.
Shit, are we adding another special guest?
Oh my God. That would be amazing. Secondly, I think I forgot it. Talking comedy talk. America's, what was it? So You Think You Could Be America's Next Top Podcaster? Is that the name of the show?
Have you done, well, all right. So number one, you are breaking imaginary NDA.
All I said was that's a show you do. End of sentence.
I am, that the show is out, but I will let everybody know I agreed to do that show because I love Brian Ibbett. Like, I had no idea how you're gonna turn. I mean, I know Ibbett loves reality shows. I know he loves reality competition shows. I had no idea how he was planning on taking that idea into an audio medium. It's been fucking intense. It's been kind of amazing. And let's say I've heard rumors back in the office that one of the rounds is the teams doing comedy podcasts, and there was a special guest judge who knows who he is. But Brian, if you'd like to tell a totally separate story.
I mean, well, this is a totally separate story. There's a new independent podcast that there was a team that on this podcast, different podcast, that needed some advice and coaching, and they had 15 minutes with a mentor to ask a few questions and get advice and let that shape the way in this other podcast they would put together their comedy. And man, oh man, this other podcast, you could feel how seriously the moderator, who happens to sometimes wear funny hats, was taking the amount of time and the amount of coaching I could give. It felt like some real shit. It was amazing.
It's fucking intense, dude. Like it's for real. And like, I didn't realize when I first started it, because the other two judges are Scott and Nicole Spagnolo. And I think it's safe to say that if me, Scott, and Nicole were all to sit down at a restaurant and we were all to get a meal that we were not in love with, that I would probably be the first one to speak up about it.
Sure.
Right? Like,
You'd be a real Simon Cowell about it.
So, and that's also, it's like, I know that, okay, well, Brian wants a certain thing out of me. He's putting me with these guys because he wants a certain thing out of me. I didn't realize how much it was going to be like, oh, geez. Like, now it's like for real. Like, now all these guys are like, they're back week after week and they're doing really hard challenges. Like, I don't know. In fact, what I would really, I suggested that we do is just either the judges or, to be honest, it would be amazing if we could be teams and like I could do a challenge with you and Bryce, and the TMS could do a challenge, and Nicole could do one with Ladies of Leet or with her husband Mark or something. But it's like the challenges that they have to do are fucking hard.
Well, especially because very clearly it's out of their. To be honest, like what I felt from them, I recognized instantly as what I felt when I did that dance reality competition show, where I'm just like out of my element, have to do something. Like, we're here, the spotlight's on, you have to go, you have to do something and make it work. And that was hard for me, and I could tell it was hard for them, and I hope it gave them good advice, because like the advice, I'm not going to say what the advice was, but as a general theme, I don't think it'd be too much of a surprise for me to say, there are people who spend an entire lifetime trying to figure out how to be funny in a podcast medium. Here are some simple things that you can latch onto right now that you can make work in this challenge that you have.
Yeah, dude. That's one of them where like they've done some challenges where I'm like, all right, look, this is hard, but you're going to have to, you can get through 70% of it by having a strong idea. Like, have a good idea, execute on it. You can cut out a lot of your risk by just better planning in a 10-minute format, because it's short form. It's get in, get out, quit fucking about. If you know what you're doing when you start, then you'll know what you're doing when you finish. That's it. Comedy, I'm like, you're on your own. Like, there's no way. Like, comedy is one of those things where unless you're a great comedy writer, like Andrew Heaton is somebody who is a fucking brilliant comedy writer. People don't realize, if you listen to his show, he does these fake ad reads every goddamn day. And it's like, that shit is hard. That shit takes a long time to do, specifically in the style that he's writing, which is very florid and writerly. Like, you have to have a certain skill to do it. It takes time. These guys are not necessarily comedians. I'm sure they do funny things and they're funny in their daily life, but it's like, I'm like, be honest. Like, other than that,
well,
you're gonna get slaughtered. This is hard. That's hard to do. 10 minutes? Do a funny, hey, I'm going to make you laugh in 10 minutes. Like, I think there are times where we've done, even when we were doing the VR shit, where it's like, all right, short porch, we're funny guys. We're probably more relatable than funny, but like we have to do a thing in a short form. It's like, that was fucking hard, and all we do is make each other laugh. That's like literally our entire friendship.
Well, and to do it short was the hardest thing. It's like what would start as a paragraph followed by a response paragraph followed by a response paragraph. Eventually, we would have to refine down to, all right, 5 words, 2-word response, 3-word LOL, and then we get going. Man, I definitely don't want to share even. I do want to speak in the abstract about comedy writing from what we've learned over the last 10 years. But I don't want to accidentally reveal any of the advice that I gave.
I don't think it's. I mean, it's. I don't think that the advice is the end of the world.
Okay.
Because you didn't hear what they did, right?
Correct. No, I haven't heard what they did. But in general, I won't speak to any of their questions, but I do know that there was one moment that I cautioned them. There was the question of authenticity, and I pointed out that the authenticity doesn't have to necessarily be a laughing authenticity. It could be funny if it's authentic rage and frustration or whatever. I pointed out that the lightning rod that I pointed to is Jimmy Fallon on the Tonight Show, right? There are some people who cannot stand the fact that he's constantly cracking himself up and chuckling, but then there's other. I think we are in the camp of he is so clearly enjoying himself and so clearly really in the moment that his contagious energy and laughter affects me and makes me happy as a viewer. And I think that's what we aim for on Night Attack. But that is a divisive issue of whether or not, that's real comedy or not.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there for podcasting, it's a different story though. Like it's podcasting is as much comedy as implanting a comedy chip is into your head. Like, yes, you could implant a comedy chip that could make you remember verbatim all of Richard Pryor's stand-up, and you could implant a comedy chip that could make you remember, just play on a loop, all the funniest moments from 30 Rock, or a new play. But you could also just have a comedy chip in your head that just remembered all the fun times that you had hanging out with your friends in high school. And you can have a comedy chip that made you remember the times that you were at your favorite job, or the times that you hung out with your cousins and just couldn't stop laughing. Like, that's all the same thing. Now, that's not performative. Those things are not things that you saw on stage that were worked on, but yet it's very personal, and that's what podcasting is. Podcasting is literally voices in your head.
And I did point out to them that they have the advantage of editing after the fact, and that's a huge advantage. And I suggested, imagine if we got to do Night Attack where we had, instead of being an hour long, it was 15 minutes long, and we took the same structure, and we got like multiple at-bats on every segment. And then we just did them different ways, different styles, different emphasis, different vibes, and then we were able to pick the best of 4 for each 30-second chunk. Then you can cobble together, I think, a factually funnier version of the show, because you're taking the best of multiple at-bats. So especially knowing that this was outside of their core competencies, I strongly encourage them to lean on that.
Oh, yeah. No, I told them, I was like, look, just record a lot and boil down, because otherwise, like,
I mean, that's for anyone who had a chuckle at any of our comedy albums, each 80-minute extravaganza came from 5-6 hours of intentional trying to record 1-minute stingers of everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what, I'm so pumped that you did it. And I'm excited to see what, it's become one of my favorite things of the weekend is I get sent the things that they did so I could listen to it and make notes and then be there to judge. But
so are you, to your surprise, turning out to be the what's her name of the podcast?
No, I'm definitely the asshole.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
The Paula Abdul.
Yeah, I wanted to say Paula Dean, but I knew that was wrong.
No, not quite.
And then
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
But I think I'm more like the thing that has changed more is me internally. Like, I thought I would kind of be, a bit of a butthole, like, for entertainment or fun, and now I'm just more along the lines of like, no, there are some things that we all know that this didn't go right, and I know that Scott's not going to say it, and I know that Nicole's not going to say it, so I'd rather the point of this show is that everybody gets better and everybody keeps improving, and then by the end of it you're listening to these 10-minute podcasts and you're like, oh my god, these are fucking pretty cool. There's already been one or two little shows that they've done. I'm like, fuck it, this is a great idea. This is something that you can run with. I don't know what's out yet, but there's one that is like super super well done, and it has a great fucking concept. Like I don't even like I can't. When the food round's over, hit me up and you'll know which one was the good one. But B, it's like you'll want to listen to that fucking show. That show is fucking great, and it's like that became my job. And it's like, okay, if you guys can do this, then when you're not doing this, I'm going to tell you that you should not be doing this.
so, hey, we're planning to stick around for a bit, right? I can go grab a beverage.
Yeah, you could go do that. We should pick a show title before we forget. If there's anything you immediately see.
Reverse cowgirl with blue pucks.
Got a ack I want to smash. Meander around in bubbles is very good.
I kind of really like Ack, just straight up Ack,
Just ack.
which was right above Ack I want to smash.
So I picked up that Ack was the runner, but I missed the original the first time it was said. Was that what was in the comic strip that you showed on screen? Is that what?
That's what she's famous for.
Oh, for saying Ack.
that's
Got it.
Kathy's catchphrase.
Yeah. Ack, ack, ack. Yeah, I can go with ack. What do you think, Bri?
Yeah, I think it works.
Awesome. Well, thank you to Captain Fubar and everyone who submits show titles. Use the Bang S command in the chat room.
Right,
If you're gonna go get a drink.
Yeah, somebody's asking what the Showbot is. We can explain that to him. We got new family.
Justin, you mind taking that really quickly?
Wait, what's the Showbot? Oh, the Showbot will tell you, or it'll record all of your titles. So if you're watching the show and you like the show and you have an idea for a title, you can go ahead and hit it up in the Showbot, and it'll show up in our little list, and you can then vote on it, and then that's how we determine what to call the show.
This is a podcast, everybody. If you're new,
Hi,
very
this is
new.
a podcast.
Yeah.
Hey, friends, Justin Robert Young here. I do a podcast, but where it's also a Twitch stream. So right now, it's more of a Twitch stream than a podcast.
Yeah, we just
So
finished the
it's kind of
podcast
both.
part.
It's weird because this is unlike other podcasts. Like we interact with the chat a lot more than I think a lot of podcasts do. Because this. All right, dig this. We were a live stream that was on Justin TV.
Uh-huh.
Then we made a podcast of just this shambling ass live stream
Well, okay.
that then got picked up by a network. That then the podcast became as big as, if not bigger than the live stream. And so now, but it still retained the energy of being a live stream. Now we're doing this. So
That's right. So there you go. So yeah, we take suggestions for what we should name the episodes, and the Showbot keeps those suggestions. So use the exclamation point S command in the chat to suggest an episode title. But don't do it today. We already picked one. It's Ack.
Yeah, so don't fucking waste your goddamn energy. Son of a bitch.
Oh my goodness.
How you feeling, Bryce? You busy week? Busy weekend? What's going on?
No, the weekend was nice, and this week looks pretty open unless something shows up at the last minute. But we didn't have any shoots over the weekend, so I had some time to just kind of relax a little bit, unwind, as they say. Yeah, I did some streams over the last week.
I saw you streamed what, Silent Hill?
No, I streamed the new Resident Evil 2 remake.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
And there's let me pull up a clip. I don't know if you actually saw any of it. But there's a Twitch extension called Sound Alerts. Do you know Sound Alerts?
No.
So it lets people click a button and play a sounder, and you can charge them bits for them. We had some free ones also, but you set up sound effects that play whenever people want to. And so, for example, let me pull this one up right here. We had the X. Oh, come on, load it up. Here we go, and then give me sound. And so we had some kind of some louder sound effects, some more kind of like what are they like? I don't know, just like some scary, really loud ones that kind of to shock me.
Yeah.
But it was fun doing just kind of a very YouTuber-y jump scare stream. I have a very when I get scared at stuff, I laugh. So moments like this. So it was
That's
fun.
fucking great.
Yeah. So I might try to do that again this week.
Wait, so was that you screaming?
Yeah.
Okay, because I walked in and I turned away just at the moment the scream happened, and I was like, "Oh, something just shocked Bryce," and I turned and you did not look shocked, and I was like, "Oh, that person sounds like Bryce," and now I'm happy to know that it is Bryce.
That was just me. Yeah, no, I was playing Resident Evil over the weekend with the jump scares, and people could play sound effects on the stream. So I'll probably do that again sometime this week. We had I set some free ones because I like the sound effect alert things, but I want there to be free ones so that people can just hit a button sometimes and mess me up.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, and so we did a free one the other day, but yeah.
You know what I had never seen?
Mhm.
I was reading a little website called The Modern Rogue, and for the first time I saw the Randy Travis drunk DUI thing that had been released. Had you ever seen that?
Oh, what is that?
It's just the footage of him when he got arrested, fully naked.
Oh my goodness.
Fully naked, and then just talking up a storm. Like, listen to this talk.
No, I don't give a rat's ass.
Put him in the front seat.
My wife to be has this argumentative way, so you know.
So apparently, like, this happened, and then for a good 5 years, his lawyers were able to keep it tied up, and then finally they were like, "No, it's on the public record. It's going out."
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
but at some
incredible.
point, he flat out says he kind of makes like direct death threats, talking about the weapons he has and what he's going to do to the arresting officer. It's
Oh
pretty
my
crazy.
God. He told another family he'd be dead in under 10 minutes because Travis knew the head of the mafioso family.
Yeah,
Good God.
Oh,
which
the
I
mafiosos.
what I love about and the article nailed it.
He told one of the cops that he hoped he got bone cancer. Travis! Randy Travis.
Well, and as the article rightly points out, like, what is he hoping will happen? He'll be like, "Oh, the mafioso? Well, let me just commit dereliction of my duty and let you free then."
Wow.
But I mean,
Don't wish me bone cancer, country muse.
but on the other hand, I mean, it's like, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, he was in a bad place, and so.
Yeah, I think he should have given those cops bone cancer.
But also, man, that's the best thing about being a country musician is like all of that just makes your shadow longer, right? Like that's all part of the lore, like drinking and
If you're a
fighting.
country artist, yeah, it would be like a hip hop artist being so wild they were really born in Britain and being.
I had never heard of 21 Savior?
Savage.
Savage.
21
I had never
Cents.
heard of 21 Savage before. any of
Yeah,
this.
I peripherally heard of him in
Yeah.
the realm of just like, oh, it's Atlanta artists like Migos and Future and
But-
21 Savage,
but-
and but he just put out a new album that was like really good. I really liked it. It was awesome. And then apparently he's the greatest British rapper alive.
Well, and
It's not even grime. Is he grime? Does he rap grime?
He does not, but he will now. Now that the fucking mask's off.
Oi.
I had maybe I'm Pollyanna about this, but it's like I thought we had gotten beyond the part where we cared where you fell out of a pussy, you know?
Well, in 2019.
So, yes, and I think it's different if you weren't Brian Brushwood, you were Texas Brushwood, and you're like, man, there's one thing I know: I was born in Texas, and I'm gonna die in Texas.
Hold
Fuck
on.
anybody who's not from Texas.
No,
And then
I don't understand, Mr. Robert Young. No, I don't. We only have two names here in Texas. I'm Brian Brushwood. Justin Robert Young must be a Florida thing. It's not like you were born in Texas. Let me tell you what. As a Texan, I'm Texan born and bred.
This just in, breaking news, ICE has arrested Texas Brushwood, deporting him back to his home country of Japan.
No, California. California, it's almost as bad. Fuck you. I never loved Texas. Also, where was Justin Robert Young actually from?
Texas.
I do think that's one of the beautiful ironies.
It is pretty amazing. Yeah, no, it's I think it's number one. The memes were what really sold it. Is that they just put there are a couple ones where he's got a line where it's like don't fuck around because the gang's outside, and then they just have like the gang, and it's a bunch of redcoats like
Or a bunch of like British chaps, a bunch of proper
Yeah.
gentlemen.
I
I mean, okay, so real talk. Do we think that he is?
J.K. Rowling, 21 Savage was a student at Hogwarts.
There's the other one where he's like I got a bad bitch 5'5" by my side, and then it was like the Google height of the queen 5'5".
That's amazing. Fuck. So do you think that he is sad right now or thrilled right now?
He's probably not happy to be in ICE detention, I think.
But
That process is what it is. There is no doubt now. I mean, here's the thing. As long as you're not going to jail forever, right? If you go to jail, then your ability to tour and capitalize and really make music is effectively put on hold, right? You're hoping to get out of jail as fast as possible, and you're hoping that your relevance, even that comes from the idea that everybody loves you and misses you, holds out. But if you're 21 Savage, and you probably just released your best album, your best and most popular album, and then you make national news for something that is non-violent,
and
ultimately,
essentially completely victimless, like non-violent, completely victimless, appears to be a paperwork snafu. Also, like if you are beloved in America, we kind of want you here. That's sort of the litmus test for visas.
yeah, I think it would be a big question on whether or not he, like, once you've been deported for something, whether or not you're even allowed any kind of work visa or something like that.
Mean, doesn't that get you like the perfect type of government entanglement street cred, where it's like you're not going to lose any fans because who's going to be mad that you wanted to be in America, but also now you have the credibility of having actually done time.
I mean, like, it will be a... Well, look, I mean, it would suck if you've made a life for yourself in a place and now all of a sudden you can't live there anymore. Because it seems unlikely that he would be able to live in Atlanta. But if he is able to tour, he'll certainly be able to make a lot of fucking money. Because he is, today, right now, if he dropped a new single, it would be fucking gigantic. The next new music he releases after this will be fucking massive.
I guess that's my real question is and we're all purely speculating, but the actual human being who's in a cell right now, is he realizing and contemplating just how much opportunity he's just been given, or is he upset with the loss of the comfort that was just taken from him?
I'm sure he is probably furious to be going through everything. It's a massive hassle. It's a I mean, like, if you were just all of a sudden told, okay, you can't live here anymore, your entire fucking like life is uprooted, that is a gigantic hassle. That being said, I'm sure there's somebody at his record company saying, oh, Jesus, 21, yeah, you're right. This fucking Trump, man, this fucking government. Oh, God, we should just really we should blow off steam at the studio. Go to the studio right now and just turn on the mics and like.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I was gonna drop a neutral beat. We can add whatever beats later, but like just what your feelings. Make sure they rhyme. Just rhyme your
God, wanna know what?
feelings.
I bet you they'd never do this to Jay-Z. I bet you they'd never do this to the Migos. I bet you they'd never do this to Future. God, we should call all of them. We should get them all in the studio now.
You know what? Let's get. Hey, look, they are here. Why don't the two of you talk about how mad you are? Make sure to rhyme. Just rhyme.
Who's your favorite producers? Like, we should fucking get them in here. I bet you they can make music about your pain.
Let's click. Listen, that was great. But could you talk some more and just remind us of all the things you used to have, because you don't have them anymore. Because you're gonna have to learn to drive on the other side of the road, learn a different Pledge of Allegiance. You're gonna have to. I lost it. I got nothing.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, look, the funniest thing, because I really don't think that dude is that dude's going to really suffer all that much. Like, even if it's like, oh, he fucking had a British accent, it's like, well, I mean, I don't know. He was born there.
So what is the real behind the scenes origin story? Like at what age did he come over?
We don't know.
7.
I mean, nobody even, this was not even on the radio. It wasn't even known, as far as anybody knew. That dude was born and raised in Atlanta. He claims Atlanta. That's his thing. He is just one of the rich musical tradition of Atlanta, Georgia.
So his lawyers put out a statement just a couple hours ago saying that he was born in the UK and arrived legally in the US at 7. ICE claims that he a 12-month visa expired in 2005. He had a 12-month 2005 visa which he overstayed. They're partially claiming they're claiming he should be considered a dreamer. Because he was only 7 years old when he effectively permanently moved to the U.S.
I mean, that's the other thing, too, is whatever he puts out next, he's in that unique position where, if somebody is not willing to listen to the message of people who cross the border from Mexico and are dreamers or illegal immigrants or whatever, he can frame that whole story in a way that people would listen to that might otherwise not listen to it. I mean, that I don't know. It's an awful lot of opportunity, yes.
He has 3 U.S. citizen children. His mother is a lawful permanent resident, and 4 siblings that are either U.S. citizens or lawful permanent residents.
Wait, how did he get left off?
Little whoopsie doodle.
I don't know, man. He was 7.
That paperwork.
Yeah, but they're legal U.S. I mean, did they marry? Maybe or
they could have. Some of his siblings could have been born after.
They could have.
After they arrived in the
okay,
US.
that would be younger
Siblings, yeah. So.
Could he just marry somebody? Could he marry somebody as an American?
You know what?
American
I'll tell you what. I was going to volunteer to marry him, but I'm already married. Justin, you're already married. I mean, if only somebody would just volunteer to marry him, and then save the day.
I mean, that person would be like an American hero, an international
That's
hero.
what I'm saying. Whoever that person is would be
international currency.
well beloved.
Holy shit! I didn't realize that this has set off the Thought Olympics in ways unheard of. Like, This is the fucking the Ho Olympics.
The Olympics. This is different from the Holy Olympics, which take place in the Vatican.
Just fucking, just girls fucking sprinting as their clothes are falling off. Like
the torch of the eternal flame is a dildo that's lit on flame.
Like the NBC interviews, it's like, why do you think you're gonna win? Like, I got 2 tongues. What does that do for you?
I just realized that. So I was at a place last night that was just showing rap videos, just like newer like rap videos, and just it had been a while since I've just seen like back to back, just like video hoes, like the rap trope of like rapper standing rapping while like 2 girls shake their ass like next to him. It's like that's I just imagine videos clearing out, like just like people are trying to shoot videos, can't keep them on set. They're all turns out everyone's trying to make that fucking 8:30 to Heathrow.
Did you guys see this nonsense? All this nonsense, this Sunny D, I can't do this anymore nonsense the other day.
Yeah, I don't know.
What the fuck is up with that?
It feels a little
It's concocted.
The only question I have is whether it was prearranged, right?
I mean, it's a big account, so somebody has to be.
There's a lot of 27-year-olds with crippling university debt, and I would imagine they meet each other at some point, or possibly run both accounts under different aliases.
But
no.
It spread.
It was totally planned if they didn't apologize. Like if Sunny D said like, we apologized making light about suicide. Depression is serious, and we have fired the person who was in charge of our...
Sorry, I was unaware of the suicide connection here.
I can't do this anymore?
Well, that's what you say when you're tired of some bullshit and you don't want to do it anymore.
You're right. That's right.
But that to me does not inherently scream suicide related.
I mean, that's what I think most people took it as.
What? Okay. All right.
I don't know. I mean, I might be wrong. That's what I took it as. That's what I saw people on Twitter, but that might just be confirmation bias for me.
Yeah, no.
Or at least,
I until you guys said it just now, like it would never occur to me. Like if my daughter said to me, like, "I can't do this anymore," or like it would never occur to me that they're going from 0 to 11 on the suicide meter.
You're right. If somebody said it to me, I would not think it like that.
Or if somebody tweeted it, if I said it, like
I'm on Justin's side with this. Like, the reality sometimes looks a lot like that.
Well, no, I specifically mean on Twitter, and more. If I'm gonna even drill deeper on it, it's not even necessarily a suicide thing. It's more of a. This is gonna get weird, but like, it is. Whether or not it is serious, it is a cry for help, right? Like understanding a cry for help doesn't mean a false cry for help, but just I want somebody to talk to me. That's what those messages normally look like. Is I'm going to say something that is asking for somebody to say, "Hey man, what's going on? Are you okay? Are you sure you're okay? We love you, man."
Huh. So if I'm reading you guys correctly, the default version of the words "I can't do this anymore" equals
on Twitter, and I would even further say late into the evening, like that to me, context is key, but on Twitter and off hours, that seems like somebody who is very sad and closer to self-harm than somebody who did not say that late at night.
Okay. So the backlight. So there are multiple gates here, right? So there's the phrase which I read multiple times today. Never once thought of as a self-harm suicide thing.
Yeah.
But so Brian's wrong at gate number 1,
But
and
no,
I should
I mean-
assume that is a self-harm thing. And then number
I'm
2,
not saying you're wrong.
the response. I mean, I don't know.
It's just beyond the initial tweet, but I think all the brands kind of getting together to have their moment on this just felt especially like, why are these brands doing
Yeah,
this personality
Okay, all right.
bullshit?
Time out. Can we just talk about the obvious joke, which is Sunny Delight is called Sunny, which means sunny disposition, which means joy and everything right with the world. And there was a very fucking simple joke of just like, what if Sunny Delight wasn't so sunny? What if Sunny Delight was having a dark moment? What's something you say in a dark moment? Like, ugh, I can't even anymore. And then what if other brands rallied to support Sunny as would be healthy in a group dynamic? Like, if anything, these brands are modeling healthy behavior in a group of peers, and it's like, if somebody's going to make hay about this is a bad thing or whatever, I don't know that I'm on board with it, with that movement.
Okay, so
I'm not
no,
making
I
you-
never said it was a bad thing. This initially came up because you said the question is whether or not it was premeditated, and I said it was almost certainly premeditated if they didn't apologize for it.
Sure,
So
but-
that's my only. I thought it was I thought it was a little provocative, but I think that's what they were trying to go for, and it involved the synergy of all the brands. It was fine for me. Like, I really don't have any qualms about it at all, but that was certainly where my head initially went, at least. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying it's where my head went.
I definitely think it's gross, and I think I think it's like a further evolution of this, like, brands are gonna be people now, and we're gonna get real feisty and angry on Twitter, so people will look at this. I mean, you know, for all the good intentions, I just look at this and I think it's really gross.
I don't think there's any good. It's fucking brands dancing to sell things. It's either they're going to be dancing to the lobby to sell you popcorn, or they're going to be on Twitter saying like, "Hey, I'm in a mood," and then Moon Pie is going to say, "Hey, Buckaroo, have a moon pie, and also have a cookie, and also buy Dow Chemical." It's fine. Like, look, to me, I don't find it gross just because I don't expect anything else from brands than to dance around and hope that I remember their product if I'm ever on Amazon and I have a choice between two products and I choose theirs.
Well, and plus also there's the secondary responsibility. Like, I'm viewing it through the lens of like, how comfortable would I be with my 14-year-old hearing the message of, it's weird and gross to say you can't even anymore, or to express that you're in a bad place.
That's
or
not
whatever.
what I said.
Well, I understand, but
I mean, you know very well about, like, that's not the intention. That's not even my message on this. My feeling on this at all.
It seemed to me like all of this is an attempt. They put on a brief. Let's say it was all collusive, and it was all intentional. It was all pre-written. What they're doing is putting on a cheesy morality play of appropriate behavior to display for somebody who's in a low place. Whether it is ultimately designed to sell corn syrup disguised as orange juice or not, I like that they're modeling good behavior, and I'm loath to demonize any aspect of them modeling good behavior.
That's fine. I'm not trying to convince you, and I don't think that my mind's going to be changed on this. But, I mean, I understand that perspective.
Yeah. Like even if they did a play of, somebody had a flat tire and all the other brands came to fix the flat tire, it would be equally cheesy and equally manipulative and equally gross, portraying brands as people. But I would also approve of that. Like, I don't know. I think I'd be hard pressed to find anything bad in this. But maybe there's another angle on this.
That's fine.
No, I don't. I mean, again, I think really the only separation that we have is whether or not we agree or disagree that that initial thing means anything other than I'm feeling down. I think that's really the only, like, that's because even if it was just Sunny D saying, "Man, I got a flat tire," and then Moon Pie and Insomnia Cookies all show up and say, well, and there's been shit like that where it's like, someone's like, we're having a party. And then like Chex Mix says, I got the snacks. And Pepsi says, I got the drinks, and yada, yada, yada. Yeah. Like I feel like that's harmless. That's cartoons tumbling around on each other. I think if there was a criticism, and Bryce, tell me if this is misstating where you're coming from, but it's like if there is an element that feels weird about it, it's not that brands are interacting in a way that people would interact on Twitter. It's more that it is taking something that does happen on Twitter. People get into really low places and scream out into the void, looking for somebody to react to them. Like, that's a thing that happens. And for that to be a sales opportunity would seem a bit gross.
Yeah, I think, regardless of how good the message is, it's brought to us by all of our favorite brands. Makes it all feel like performative, and even if it's trying to instill like good, demonstrating good methodology and good social, cues and whatever. I think that the Sunny Delight Twitter account is not an appropriate venue for that. So.
Yeah, I guess I'm probably falling into the bias of wanting to make things black or white, because if we're okay with Wendy's doing a fantastic job of, asking people to let them roast them and so on, and acting like a human being, I feel like I
also don't love that stuff either.
Oh no, I adore it. I think it's great, because I think that teams of people work to craft a character for what they as a team represent, and I think it's fine to have a mouthpiece act out that exact character. So I'm very much okay with the way Wendy's handles, all of that stuff as if they're a single person. And if I'm okay with that, maybe I'm building on that to say that it seems like it's okay for other brands to act out, healthy practices in a little play, or to, just jump on an organic opportunity to,
I think the only difference that would be there with the Wendy's thing is that by and large, Wendy's either tweets in memes or about pop culture stuff, or they are interacting with people that are like, I would like to interact with the Wendy's account. And so they, go, or they're like defending their corporate honor when somebody's like, yo, McDonald's fries are the best. Fuck Wendy's. And then Wendy's comes back and is like, your mom's a whore. And we go like, oh shit, a fucking bold statement about fries really got turned on your head. Isn't that funny? Whereas this is, I think it's just where it starts that people would just be a little bit like, but again, it depends on how you read it.
Yeah.
Can we stop talking about this stuff? Start talking about something else.
Sure.
Which is, Brian, when I say the words Liam Neeson.
When you say the words what?
When I say the words Liam Neeson. Do you know what Liam Neeson's in the news?
Not a racist.
Did you see him on Good Morning America today?
No, I did not.
Please, Bryce, look up Liam Neeson on Good Morning America. Now, to set everything up for everybody else, Liam Neeson is promoting a movie. Best I can tell, it is a black comedy that kind of plays against
his
Liam
reputation as an action star. Quick side jag. We see this from time to time. Whenever we get to thoughtfully exploring deep territory, sometimes people will say, like, as Aaron Byrne too did, Woo Comedy Podcast, would you like us to never explore deep territory? Because that's how you can get us to add a cowbell and a fart sound effect and make sure we're only comedy all the time. So like, you let us know what you want.
Joke's on you. I've been jacking off this whole time. Comedy times. All right. So don't worry. It's going to get funny here. So Liam Neeson is promoting his movie, Cold Pursuit. And in it, somebody asked him during the press thing, a print interview, he is asked, how are you able to tap into this role as a man who goes on a revenge trip? Which, by the way, has been all of his roles. All of his roles are about a man who pursues a revenge thing. This is the dark comedic version of that character. And he decides to tell a story of a time that his friend was raped and he went out. Okay, so this is the initial one, but leave this out because it's even better to hear it on the Good Morning America thing. So he gets in trouble because he says a friend of his was raped, and he came back and asked for whatever reason. It came out that the guy was black, and so he decided that he was going to wait around in front of bars and hope to get into a fight with a black guy that he might eventually kill in a fight. All right. So what you are going to see on Good Morning America is his first televised appearance since this quote, in which theoretically you should be turning the page, right? You said a thing, may have gotten a little too real. He didn't, look, there are certainly venues for these kinds of conversations to tell stories from your past that might be real. I don't know if a press tour for your dark comedy is necessarily supposed to be it, but you want to know what? You're Liam Neeson's publicist. Just go out there. It's Good Morning America. They ain't gonna try and grill you. You can just go out, say that maybe this was got a little away from you. It's not exactly what I meant, but here we go. This is Liam Neeson on Good Morning America.
A very close friend of his who he says was assaulted. And Liam, first of all, I really appreciate your willingness to have this discussion, because when it comes to race, it can be very uncomfortable for people.
Pause. How much do we believe those words that were just spoken? I really appreciate your willingness to talk about this because we like ratings. And it sounds like you want to talk even more about this.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Normally, Brian, I would be totally with you, but it seems like he really wanted to talk about it.
Okay, all right.
How you responded when you were asked about revenge, and you want to explain what you said?
Yeah, we were doing a press junket, and it was, the topic of our film is revenge, and it's a dark comedy too, but its base is revenge. And the lady journalist was asking me, how do you tap into that? And I remembered an incident nearly 40 years ago where a very dear friend of mine was brutally raped. And I was out of the country, and when I came back, she told me about this. And she handled the situation herself and her rapist.
You could hear the photographer off to the side taking photos. That's how quiet it is in this room.
Let me also point out, you don't need to tell the story again. You can just say, I told the story. It was a little bit graphic. It got into places that I wasn't expecting, but I've certainly done things that I haven't. You don't need to tell the story again.
Also, I'm pretty sure you were booked on this to specifically promote the comedy, the dark comedy that you're doing.
All right, keep going.
Well, and I will say, when we've run into trouble, it's oftentimes because one of us, usually me, is like deeply passionate about a thing and loses sight of the general job that we're doing of putting on a show, and it really looks to me like he's experiencing that. Like
oh, he's in it. He's in it. He does not want to give up this point.
Yeah.
Incredibly bravely, I have to say that. But I had never felt this feeling before, which was a primal urge to lash out. I asked her, did you know the person? It was a man. No. His race? She said he was a black man. I thought, okay. And after that, there were some nights I went out deliberately into black areas in this city looking to be set upon so that I could unleash physical violence. And I did it for, I'd say maybe 4 or 5 times, until I caught myself on. And it really shocked me, this primal urge I had.
Pause it. Just before we get, because we're coming into the home stretch here. Number one, this plan was to go out into black neighborhoods, hoping, because he says, the way he says it here, in the other one, he was like, I was like outside of pubs and I had like a cudgel with me or a staff or something with me. And I was like looking to pick fight. It almost made it sound like he was standing outside of bars and being like, hey, what the fuck you're looking at, huh? And like, if somebody came at him, finally he'd be able to fight a black guy because a black guy did this to his friend. Here it just sounds like he was just walking around. He was just like, oh, like, just me. Old Whitey McGirt. Anybody want to fight? Okay. All right. Moving on. It's just a weird plan. It's a weird plan.
Yeah, some people in the chat are saying like he's clearly drunk or something. He doesn't look like that. It looks like he's revisiting a period of very real pain, and you know, I don't know,
no, he looks like a motherfucker that's in the middle of something, and he is absolutely in the middle of something. I don't. No, he's not like no. By the way, if you want to look at drunk. As soon as we're done with this, look up Danny DeVito on The View. But I'll show you.
Oh, my God. Danny DeVito on The View was something else, man. Also, I think we covered it a while ago. There's that moment where, like, local news in Philadelphia is covering the fact that they're shooting stuff. And then, like, the rest of the cast of Always Sunny in Philadelphia is trying to dial him back a little bit. like the moment Charlie is the one who's like, okay. like that's when you know you're over the line.
It's over. It's way over. All right, here. So here we go. Don't worry though, Brian. Liam Neeson's doing better these days.
Okay.
It shocked me and it hurt me. I did seek help. I went to a priest. I heard my confession. I was reared a Catholic. I had 2 very, very good friends that I talked to. And believe it or not, power walking.
Power walking.
Yeah, 2 hours every day.
You can
To get rid of this. And I'm
The hands say so much.
Power walking. And then the soft humble brag. Yeah, 2 hours a day.
Man, it's such a bummer because it's fairly clear that what he thinks he's doing is sharing a dark moment and how he got past it and how he's, you know, back on the good guys team. Like much like somebody, I don't know, there was a weird vibe after 9/11 and a bunch of people just, you know, here in Texas just, you know, kind of were looking for a reason to punch somebody who looked like they were from the Middle East. And it sounds like he's describing a moment like that and how he got past it. But
yeah, which is shameful, right? And I think the larger problem is this is probably not an appropriate story to promote your comedy movie. I think that's the largest, like, because everybody, I posted this today, which is like a what the hell, and people are like, well, it sounds like he's speaking his truth. It sounds like he's doing this. I don't know so much. He's promoting a comedy movie. I don't give a fuck if you think that he is spilling his soul. I don't give a fuck if you think that you feel pity for him, if you think he's a racist and should never work again. The one thing we can all agree on is you should not be telling this story if you're promoting a movie that's supposed to get people in the theaters to laugh along with you, Liam Neeson. In fact, the phrase brutally raped should probably stay out of any and all conversations that you have, specifically in relation to Cold Pursuit, a dark comedy starring Liam Neeson, out this Friday.
Yeah, that man,
that's my only thing. Look, we can talk about what it's like to deal with things in the past. We can talk about what it's like to live your truth. We can talk about what it's like to be in the middle of that storm. All of these are valid conversations. none of them supersede. This is not an appropriate story for your comedy junket, Liam. That's it. That's my only thing. We can move on from there. Everybody else is, you're totally right to point out all these other things, but that all comes after Find Another Anecdote.
I'll tell you what, though, man, if he wants a guide of how to nail it next time, look to no other than the great Danny DeVito in this appearance. How long ago was this?
I don't know.
My darlings.
2006.
The other day saying that you and he were nude in a sleeping bag in this.
Yes, Matthew is just a fine individual.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
It was fun to do, I take
I
it.
had a great time doing
Danny
that.
has been out partying all night with, tell them, I'm so jealous.
George.
Clooney.
No, I knew.
All right, pause. That is definitely an intentional inoculation. That's like, how fast can we say the words, he's been out partying all night with whatever? Hey, how are we going to frame this so that everybody's okay?
Yeah. And so it's Joy Behar doing it to just inoculate it. The crowd goes, ooh. So it's like, okay, now just so we all know where the floor of this interview is, everyone's going to laugh whenever you say something that's obviously slurred, because we can always go back to, oh, George gave you that drink, huh? And he's going to be like, yup, he did. So that's the floor. His floor is we're expecting him to slur and be a real silly goose. Let's see how it turns out.
It was going to get me.
Yes, exactly. Have you been to sleep yet? Not really.
Don't
do it now.
I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wait a while.
Wait a couple of minutes.
Is it true that you've been to the White House so you can get...
Oh, yeah, I have been to the White House. Going to the White House.
Elizabeth,
Go to the White House?
Rosie's coming.
Oh, you go to the
Maybe.
White
I don't
House?
know if they'll want me to go, Danny. You know. We'll see.
You know, these back entrances.
Yeah, that's the way to get
Go in.
in. Is that how you got in?
Disguise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go in. It's really cool. It's a really, really cool place. They built it really well.
Yeah.
Of course. And,
Just casually talking about the architecture of the White House, because good God, you're on The View, and I suppose you're supposed to be talking about something.
Which was really nice. The place had that kind of Clinton feeling.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't go after numb. I thought.
Barbara, by the way, tired of his shit.
No, I mean,
Who's that?
Barbara Walters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, as soon as he said, oh, no, go back. This is my favorite part. This is my favorite part where he does his impression of George W. Bush.
Yeah. No, I mean, the guy who.
You're waking up, aren't you?
Trying to, figure out what to do with our country and our women and men in the military. Donald. Okay, on. What about a hat trick last week?
Yeah.
Rumsfeld, the House and the Senate.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
There you go. That made you happy, I know.
I took my clothes off.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't scare us now.
Listen.
I would ask about your house.
Now,
You're having a 25th wedding anniversary.
I do, but let me get the White House was like the White House was like great. You get the Lincoln bedroom.
Yeah.
It's the Lincoln. Yes.
You slept there?
Slept
With
in
Rhea?
the Lincoln bedroom with Rhea.
No way.
Yes, we got there.
I hope with Rhea.
I don't know. Something happens when you go in that hallway. You start not recognizing women. No, it was Rhea. We went in and we made it our business
Good.
to really wreck the joint.
Yeah.
I mean, every place in that bedroom was
Utilized. There you go, Danny. Utilized.
I love that he can't make eye contact with any of the other women for like half of this.
Oh, no.
The word.
Listen, can we talk about this movie? And
yes. Deck the hall.
Can we talk about the fucking movie? Jesus. It's a dark comedy, right?
We we are hoping that you all will go see it this weekend.
I saw it. It's funny.
It's funny.
You
It
guys
is
are funny.
You are
Very
obsessed
funny.
Thank you.
With lighting up your house and getting
Yes.
everything
Well, I
possible
find.
Christmas.
I
Are you
find.
like that in real life?
Am I now? Well,
Christmas comes and
my
goes.
kids, I've always decorated. My mother decorated with the little lights in the windows, and then we had the tree. And then you get a little lights left over. You put them around the banister, and then you go outside. You put a few.
Yeah.
And then you keep adding every year. You had a few lights. Somebody bring.
I bet
lights
this is
over and they would
like
get-
he shows up at 6 a.m. and the producer is just like, oh man, you seem kind of wiped. Did you go to bed? And he's like, no. And he probably seemed pretty okay, but by the time you get live on camera at 9 and change,
It's just all adrenaline.
You think? I don't think he showed up at call time.
Really?
I think he rolls.
You think he was big? Yeah, he's big enough to just be all like, whatever, I'll be there. Wow.
Well, and it just might be one of those things where maybe it's a light week and there's only so much that they can move around based on what they're scheduling. So it's like they only have so much written. They need this interview, and so it's like, just get here, just fucking get here. We'll shoot the rest of the show, but you just need to be here for the fucking thing that you need to be there for. And then he rolls in all rum-hammed up.
Rum ham. And this is all pre-rum ham, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, pre-rum ham, yeah.
Speaking of which, do we have the local news clip that he did? Where it was a live remote.
This will have to be it though, man. We're at the Dirks rule.
I don't. I was not looking at. We were looking at this video.
We were spared.
So I can look it up. I'm gonna try and find it, but
Yeah. No, it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Danny DeVito drunk live
news.
Yeah, they were doing a live. It was like a live midday.
It was a live remote, right?
From the set of Always Sunny in Philadelphia when they were doing their Philadelphia remotes or Philadelphia on location shoots.
Hey, speaking of Katie Dirks, any news that we should be promoting on that documentary?
I don't know what's announced. I do know that it is getting a debut.
Yes.
And it is going to be at a wrestling related event, and that's probably more than I should say. But yeah, look, I saw a rough cut of their documentary about Joey Ryan. It's fucking hilarious and it's great. I'm so proud of her and James. They did an amazing job. Flew all over the fucking world to shoot that thing. You can go ahead and check out the trailer at Joey Ryan online, I believe, on Twitter, and then Joey Ryan's also on Instagram.
Oh, hey, I wanted to ask, how did people are asking about a pup date. We haven't broken ground on the sewage stuff yet, but it does look like we finally got all the paperwork in order. So stick around. Next week or two, everything should be happening.
And so, if you're planning on coming to Austin, we are doing I'll tell you what. Now that we have our linchpin, we have our show set in stone.
Yep.
It is my dream to do 3 days consecutively of Night Attack of Diamond Club content. My hope would be, we know we're definitely doing Saturday, and we know we're definitely doing a thing Sunday. More details on that as it comes, but it will likely involve a guided tour of the 7-acre Schwood, including
recent enhancements to the stories, like big enhancements.
Let me just say this: I don't know if the kind of shit that we will say when we're there, including names and places, and phone numbers, will ever be said on the internet, because that's a libel lawsuit. That's a slander lawsuit. But if we're just a bunch of friends sitting around, then there's a lot of things that we could say that I've grown very strongly opinionated about over the last week.
Imagine there are parts to the backstory of the puppy that would somehow literally enrage Justin Robert Young and awaken in him a vendetta that he is only barely keeping in check. Also, Mike TV, we would love for you to do a show Friday beforehand. We would love to help you with that.
So, in fact, Mike hit me up, because what I would also love to do is do a live politics Friday night. So it would be a Friday night, a Saturday night, a Sunday. We want to fucking jam pack it out. We want to make sure that anybody who makes the trip out to Austin has the fucking best goddamn time. So Mike, hit me up if you're doing a concert. I would love to do a politics, and then lead right into a Mike TV show. That would be fucking the best.
Oh, sorry. I think I found it. I thought it was scrubbed from the internet, but I think I found.
Oh,
is this it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Holy cow! So a bunch of them were taken down, huh?
Every news story that I saw that had it either didn't link to it or their links were.
Wow.
About LBG, little baby girl. Remember we had the
This was 10
tummy
years
off?
ago.
Yeah,
You were drunk on the lemon.
Yeah, I
so you
remember.
might not remember.
I remember you had the belly, and I was thinking about.
Oh,
What that
by the
would look
way,
like when
hold on, pause this. He was also drunk. He winds up talking about how he was drunk on the limoncello in that View interview. That man loves fucking limoncello. I think he was like selling it. For a
No.
little bit.
I believe that's what she was bringing up. Was remember I was there. I was the producer on that thing when you
really?
showed up drunk, and he was like, "Yeah," and I was looking at your belly the whole time. Like, listen to it again.
About LBG, little baby girl. Remember we had the tummy off?
Yeah,
You were drunk on the lemon.
Yeah, I remember.
So you might not remember.
I remember you had the belly, and I was thinking about what that would look like when that kid was born.
And she's cute.
Is she cute? Was she cute coming out? Like,
Yeah, of course.
Get the
Jesus
picture of the
Christ.
legs and the head coming out.
But that's
like,
enough of that. That's enough of that. Now you guys are doing the overbook section. You know I love you, right?
God, I love you.
I had to wear my extra high shoes.
Behind
'cause
him
you're
is
the only
Rob
man I could
McElhaney, like really having a tough time with what he's seeing.
down to.
Well, that's good.
At 3
But you
feet
wore
tall.
That short skirt.
I sure did.
Oh my God,
too.
he's holding the freshie.
Okay, here's the thing.
Easy access.
Oh, wow. Morning television.
Naughty.
Easy access.
Easy access, and he gets Mac to freak out about it. Oh goddamn!
Okay, here's the thing.
Easy access.
Oh, wow. Morning television.
Naughty. Speaking
Morning television.
of the naughties, you guys are filming a set about the naughty, the horizontal bop.
Oh, so
I'm
that's
trying to
what
keep
we're
it
talking
clean.
about today. Well, we're trying to keep it clean. We're classy fellas. He's drinking.
Yeah.
What time is it?
Philadelphia's just waking up, all right? We're trying to,
8 a.m.
Come on, man.
Oh
We're
my
trying to
God!
get up-
Seeing Mac and Charlie go into like judgment mode is too much for me. It breaks my mind.
Having their breakfast?
Yeah.
Oh, you know it's not real beer.
No, of course
Not real beer, guys.
not. You're filming a scene for the hit Fox show. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Look at that. The sun's
And
out.
it's
Look at how
sunny. We had
beautiful.
Armageddon storms yesterday, but today we brought the sun out.
Thank you.
You're here in the Overbrook section, and I have to tell you, coming around the traffic, you would never even know that you guys are back here in this neighborhood. You're basically behind St. Joe's.
We're tucked away.
Yes.
Nobody will see us.
You've been filming all week in
We
the
can
city.
do anything we want.
You are so naughty.
You'll never.
That's why I love you. I love you. I
Nobody
love you.
will ever find out.
Now listen. Is it hard filming with him?
Yeah, you're looking at it. This is the experience.
Yeah. It was
Look at
really
that
cool
shot
because
right
we
up
walked
in
up
his
here, and I
face.
want you to know we were just seconds away from going live, and your director, your crew, I don't know if you want to show what's happening here. Everyone was like, be quiet, and if you could just be a little more quiet, and even more quiet than that. And so we came up literally with 30 seconds to go, and you guys did it. It's as if you're a professional actor or something, Mr. DeVito. He's still being quiet. He's behaving himself. But we literally have shut down production. All these guys, are you happy that you're shut down for 5 seconds? You're okay. They're hoping it's going to end. There's craft services over there. Hugh Douglas, they say they need a
Oh
football
my God!
player.
She's vamping like a queen.
Oh my God! She clearly is not having a good time. No. That's awful.
I guess they just dropped her in to do the live remote, and nobody fucking likes the fact that it's happening. I guess they're up against it. I mean, DeVito's face.
Who boy?
That is a bad day on set.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So anyway, you're welcome.
Tell you what, that's it. 1, 2, 3, third count. We're
count.
out.
Dirk's
Dirk's
rule.
Ironclad.
Fair enough.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Also, James Brown is dead. Same song as Two Unlimited's Get Ready for This. Real thing.
Yeah. Everybody sing happy birthday to a Holocaust survivor.
Love you guys.
Oh!
Bye. Where's my thing? Where's my thing? The pie.
Limoncello, 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 limoncello.